It's a very big deal for me to be putting my feet in the water with Fred.
There are a lot of kids here. And if we catch you with a homosexual, the rest of your life will be a living hell.
Shane Snape, who is 28 and is himself HIV infected, spoke out to her about the myths surrounding AIDS.
Adolf Hitler commits suicide as Soviet forces close in on his underground bunker in Berlin.
Much of history is forgotten, and the little bits and pieces that we remember often become ignored and overlooked. But many historical photos bring the forgotten and ignored moments back to life, changing the perspective of anyone who sees them. From tragic photos that paint a tale of the cruelty of war to everyday snapshots of people just living their lives, these images will open your eyes to a world that once was. Our experts have searched through old magazines, the far corners of the internet, and dusty archives to bring you the most powerful and impactful photos of the past. No matter if you're new to your love for history or a true history buff, these photos are enough to change the perspective of anyone who looks at them. From photos taken right out of the deepest sea to pictures taken during a war, this is a collection of the most incredible, moving, and thought-provoking snaps from the past. Let's dive in and explore pictures that will change your view of the past. Titanic survivors.
And people, shout! Shout as loud as you possibly can! Come on!
In this shocking photo, we see the last lifeboat to be lowered from the ill-fated Titanic. Known as Collapsible D, this small wooden boat was packed with a desperate group of survivors, estimated to be between 15 to 25 people. As it makes its way towards the RMS Carpathia, we are reminded of the tragic fate that befell the infamous ocean liner. But what you may not know is that this was not the only time the Carpathia would be involved in a devastating maritime event. Just 6 years later, the ship would also meet a similar fate after being struck by a German U-boat during World War I. This historical coincidence adds an eerie layer of significance to this already haunting image. Despite the blurred lines of time, this photo captures a critical moment in history that changed the lives of all those involved. It's a blatant reminder to many that the Titanic wasn't just a boat on a large TV screen, but a real disaster that claimed the lives of many people. Mr. Rogers.
It's a very big deal for me to be putting my feet in the water with Fred.
Everyone knows that Mr. Rogers was awesome, but did you know he was a bit of a rebel as well? In 1969, when Black Americans were still prevented from swimming alongside whites, Mr. Rogers decided to invite Officer Clemens to join him and cool his feet in a pool, breaking a well-known color barrier. This simple act of solidarity and friendship was a powerful statement that went against the societal norms of the time. It showed children and adults that racism and discrimination are wrong and should not be tolerated. It's just one of the many instances where Mr. Rogers used his platform to promote love, kindness, and equality. This photo truly captures the essence of Mr. Rogers and his unwavering dedication to making the world a better place. It's a reminder that even the smallest acts of defiance can have a big impact on changing the world for the better. It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood indeed. Harry Houdini. Hold your breath for this one. Harry Houdini, one of the greatest magicians and escape artists in history, was constantly pushing the limits of what was possible. In this rare photo from 1908, Houdini prepares for one of his most dangerous stunts, diving into the Charles River while collared and handcuffed. With 20,000 spectators watching, including the mayors of Boston and Cambridge, Houdini pulled off the seemingly impossible feat and emerged from the water free from the chains in just 40 seconds. This incredible photo captures the tension and anticipation of the crowd, as well as the fearlessness and skill of Houdini himself. It's a testament to the power of determination, bravery, and a little bit of magic. Booker T.
Booker T. Washington was the leading African-American figure.
In this shot, captured in Mound Bayou, Mississippi around 1912, Booker T. Washington delivers a powerful address. As an African-American orator and activist, Washington worked tirelessly to end the disenfranchisement of Black Americans in the post-Reconstruction era. He believed in the power of education and hard work as a means of overcoming racial inequality and creating a better future for all. This photo not only showcases Washington's strong presence and charisma, but also serves as a reminder of his unwavering determination and dedication to the cause. His legacy continues to inspire and motivate generations to fight for justice and equality in all aspects of society, but not many people understand the true extent of his influence during the time. German soldier.
An East German soldier ignores orders to let no one pass and helps a little boy to cross the newly formed Berlin Wall.
In this shocking image, a German soldier from the World War II era can be seen disobeying direct orders in order to help a young boy cross the newly formed Berlin Wall. This powerful photo captures the humanity and compassion of a man in the midst of war, risking his own life to help an innocent child. Despite the consequences he may face, this soldier chose to do what he believed was the right thing and help someone in need. It serves as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there are still those who choose kindness over hate and humanity over war. This image not only captures a powerful moment in history, but also challenges our perception of soldiers as mere machines of war. This soldier's act of defiance and compassion is a shining example of the potential for good in all, but also of how dangerous his act was. If his comrades had seen him helping the boy, he could have been killed. Charles Thompson.
Racial segregation in public schools was unconstitutional.
Meet Charles Thompson, a brave young man who became the first African-American student to attend public school number 27 in Baltimore, less than 4 months after the Supreme Court's landmark ruling that declared racial segregation unconstitutional. In a racially charged time, Charles's smiling face and open arms show the sheer innocence and optimism of a child. He is completely unaware of the adult prejudices and struggles that await him in the future. This photo captures a historic moment in the fight against segregation and serves as a reminder that change and progress are often led by the younger generations. The children surrounding him seem genuinely happy as well, unaware of the gravity of this moment. It's a beautiful and heartwarming image that shows the power of inclusion and acceptance and how one brave young boy can pave the way for a better future. Princess Diana.
Shane Snape, who is 28 and is himself HIV infected, spoke out to her about the myths surrounding AIDS.
When she did this, people must have thought she lost her mind. In this photo, Princess Diana can be seen shaking hands with an AIDS patient without gloves, something that was still highly stigmatized and feared in 1991. However, Princess Diana believed in breaking barriers and fighting against discrimination. She understood the impact of her actions and used her platform to bring attention to important issues. By publicly showing compassion and understanding towards AIDS patients, she challenged societal biases and changed the public's perception. This powerful image shows Princess Diana as a true humanitarian, using her influence for good and breaking down stereotypes. At the time, this was a massive gesture, even though it might seem like such a little thing today, which is bizarre. In the span of only a few years, Princess Diana's gesture has gone from being seen as shocking and radical to completely normal and acceptable. Flags.
Thanks to the women workers of World War II, they know they're up to the challenge.
Have you ever wondered where flags came from before they were made in factories? During World War I, women stepped up to help with the war effort by making flags for the military. This photo captures a room full of women hard at work, sewing American flags with only 48 stars. It's a small glimpse into the role of women during the war, who often took on jobs typically held by men at the time. It's a reminder of the power of women and the important role they played in shaping history. This shocking and head-turning photo paints a true picture of the hardships women faced as they volunteered to help make flags at the Brooklyn Navy Yard while men were off fighting in the war. It's a reminder of the strength and resilience of countries at war and their ability to step up in times of need. The women in this photo may be far from famous, but their contribution to the war effort was next to none. Masks.
These were manufactured by a number of companies. They were also made by a bunch of Red Cross volunteers across the nation.
While wearing masks during the COVID pandemic might seem like a first, the reality is that masks have been worn during pandemics for centuries. This photo from 1918 shows a policeman in San Francisco scolding a man for not wearing a mask during the influenza pandemic that was sweeping the world at the time. This photo serves as a powerful reminder that history often repeats itself and that we can learn from the mistakes and triumphs of those who came before us. It's also a reminder that the fight against infectious diseases is ongoing and that we all have a role to play in protecting ourselves and our communities. If your mind wasn't already blown by the fact that people used to wear masks to prevent disease outbreaks as well, then the fact that we're still dealing with similar issues 100 years later surely will. Adolf's death.
According to news reports, Adolf Hitler commits suicide as Soviet forces close in on his underground bunker in Berlin.
While Adolf Hitler's death is still considered a great victory, this photo shows a different side of the celebration. The people in the picture are members of the Dutch resistance, a group of courageous individuals who risked their lives to fight against the Nazi occupation of the Netherlands. These individuals lived under constant fear and oppression, and their joy upon hearing news of Hitler's death was palpable. It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope and strength in unity and resistance. This photo captures a pivotal moment in history and shows the true power of perseverance against tyranny as these individuals celebrate next to their radio. This shocking news must have come as a relief to them that their greatest enemy was finally dead and would never be able to harm them again. This photo truly captures the immense emotions that must have been felt by these brave individuals and is enough to make anyone reconsider how much we truly know about the individuals who fought and helped in Wadi 2. Statue of David.
When it was finally unveiled, reaction was a gasp of wonder.
No, this strange pill-shaped object isn't some alien device or futuristic weapon. Instead, it's actually the Statue of David. Does that seem weird? Back in World War II, the statue was encased in bricks to prevent damage from bombing raids. This was just one example of many efforts taken to protect priceless works of art during times of war. The fear that these masterpieces could be destroyed forever led to drastic measures, like covering up the Taj Mahal to make it look like an unfinished construction site. These photos show the lengths that people were willing to go to in order to protect and preserve the history and beauty of the world and keep these priceless artifacts safe from the destruction of war. While war is undoubtedly a horrible thing, these acts of protection and preservation show that even in the midst of chaos, humanity still values and cherishes its cultural treasures. Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore might seem like just another tourist destination today, but this photo shows the massive undertaking that went into creating this iconic landmark. The photo was taken during the early stages of construction and shows the monument when it was still just a roughed-out design. It's a reminder that even the most monumental achievements start with just an idea and a dream. It took many years and over 400 workers to complete Mount Rushmore, and this photo captures the incredible amount of labor and skill that went into creating it. It's a powerful reminder of the determination and tenacity of the American people and how anything is possible with hard work and dedication. Even further along, you can see many workers scaling the faces they are working on, chiseling away at the rock with amazing precision. This iconic photo truly captures the magnitude of this American masterpiece and the hard work that went into bringing it to life. Compassion. While the World War was a tragic and deadly event, it also brought out moments of compassion and humanity. This photo of an American soldier cradling a wounded Japanese boy and sheltering him from the rain during the Battle of Saipan is a powerful reminder that amidst conflict, there is still humanity and kindness. It's a symbol of hope and a testament to the fact that no matter what side we're on, we are all human and deserve to be treated with compassion and respect. The soldier was waiting to transport this wounded boy to a field hospital and elected to stay with him and comfort him during this time, keeping him dry from the rain. This photo serves as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always room for love and compassion. Satchmo and the Duke.
Louis Armstrong and Duke Ellington, tonight for the first time in 30 years, worked together in a number from their Roulette album, Duke's Place.
There's no question that Duke Ellington was one of the most legendary jazz musicians of all time, but when he teamed up with another jazz icon, Louis Armstrong, their collaboration took the world by storm. This photo captures the magic and pure talent of these two giants of jazz as they rehearse in the recording studio. It's a rare glimpse into history, showing us the creative process and friendship between these two legends. This photo serves as a reminder that when two great minds come together, they can create something truly extraordinary. Satchmo and the Duke will forever be remembered as two of the most influential and groundbreaking musicians in the history of jazz. This photo immortalizes their talent and friendship for all to see. It's a true treasure from the past that continues to inspire and awe us to this day, and mind-boggling how this transformed music as we know it. Armstrong and the Sphinx.
I see trees of green.
There's no denying that Louis Armstrong was a musical genius. But did you know he was also a cultural ambassador for the United States? As part of the jazz diplomacy program during the Cold War, Louis Armstrong and his band toured different regions of the world, including the Middle East and South America, as a way to showcase the cultural freedoms of America. In this photo, taken in 1961 during his tour of Egypt, Armstrong can be seen playing his trumpet for his wife Lucille, with the iconic Sphinx in the background. It's a powerful image that not only shows the beauty of ancient Egypt, but also the power of music to transcend borders and bring people together. This snapshot of history truly captures the essence of Armstrong's impact on both the music world and world politics. Otto.
Many people have used this book as an inspiration in
Many did, and it changed even many lives.
This isn't just a photo of an old man standing in an attic. This is Otto Frank, the father of Anne Frank, revisiting the attic where his family hid from the Nazis during World War II. This powerful photo was taken in 1960, almost 2 decades after the tragic events that led to the death of his wife and 2 daughters. It shows the resilient spirit of Otto Frank, who was the only surviving member of his immediate family. Despite the immense tragedy he had faced, he was still able to return to the place where his family endured unimaginable fear and suffering. While Anne Frank's story alone is tragic, it's even more tragic when you consider that Otto was left with not only the loss of his family, but also the burden of preserving and sharing his daughter's diary with the world. Durban Bus.
Bus passengers routinely relinquished their seats near the front of the bus for whites.
In this photo, a man can be seen riding a bus in Durban, South Africa in 1986. However, this was no ordinary bus ride. At the time, South Africa was under the oppressive system of apartheid, where segregation and discrimination against non-white individuals was widespread. The buses were segregated, with designated seats for white and non-white passengers. This man, in a powerful act of resistance, chose to ride in the white-only section to protest against these unjust laws. The woman's expression of disgust on the right only serves to emphasize the ignorance and prejudice that fueled these discriminatory policies. It's shocking to be reminded that only in 1986 such blatant segregation was still happening, and it serves as a call to continue fighting against discrimination and promoting equality for all. Princess Elizabeth.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister of Canada, for making me feel so old.
If you've forgotten why Queen Elizabeth was so loved before her death, this photo will remind you. Not only was she a beloved ruler, but she was also a hard-working and dedicated individual, even before she took the throne. During World War II, Elizabeth trained as a mechanic and became skilled in driving ambulances. In this photo, we see her dressed in her coveralls and not afraid to get her hands dirty as she works on a vehicle. It's a powerful reminder that even the highest of royals can still have a down-to-earth attitude and a strong work ethic. Of course, this is hardly the most impressive thing she ever did, as she can be seen riding a motorbike as part of her army training in another picture. Talk about breaking stereotypes and expectations. There's a reason that everyone loved the Queen. Cross-dressing.
In 1960s America, it was illegal to be homosexual.
Cross-dressing today is fairly commonplace, as we've seen with Harry Styles in his photo shoot. But in 1939, it was a radical act. This powerful photo captures the moment a man is arrested for cross-dressing, a taboo, an often criminalized act during this time period. In this photo, he's seen emerging from a police van, surrounded by officers and curious onlookers. The look on his face, however, is completely defiant and even happy, almost challenging, as if he knows the weight of his actions and isn't backing down. This photo is a stark reminder of the discrimination and persecution that the LGBTQ+ community has faced throughout history, even as recently as 1939. It's crazy to think that back then, you wouldn't just be ridiculed for cross-dressing, but actually arrested and punished. Yet this man still had the courage to express himself and challenge societal norms. It's a great way to change your perspective on history and the struggles that many have faced for simply being true to themselves. Last photos.
John F. Kennedy moves into the White House in January 1961.
These rare last photos of John F. Kennedy capture a more relaxed and casual side of the 35th president, taken by his personal photographer, Jacques Lowe. These photos were once lost during 9/11, but were later recovered and restored. They offer a unique glimpse into the private life of a beloved president and his family. From playing with his children to quietly reading a book, these photos show JFK in a different light than the carefully curated and in staged images often seen during his presidency. What's even more shocking about these historical photos, however, is the fact that they were almost lost to time. Over 40,000 of these photos were kept in a safe in the World Trade Center and were destroyed in the terrorist attacks. But thanks to the hard work of preservationists, we are lucky enough to still have a glimpse into the world of JFK through these intimate and candid photos. They truly are a rare and valuable collection, offering a new perspective on one of the most iconic figures in American history. Einstein?
We cannot be trusted to be loyal to our country.
It's crazy to think that a man as brilliant as Albert Einstein was once considered an undesirable immigrant. In this photo, we see him with his secretary and daughter, becoming U.S. citizens in 1940 to avoid returning to Nazi Germany. This powerful image shows the desperation and determination of people who were seeking refuge in America during a time of great turmoil. While many would have expected Einstein to have an easy immigration process due to his contributions to science and humanity, this was sadly not the case. This photo is a reminder that even the smartest and most talented individuals were not immune to the discriminatory policies of the past. Even for Albert Einstein, it was a necessary part of the process of fleeing Nazi Germany and taking residency in the United States.